This world shall know pain. Almighty push!
Ah! 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 The day has finally arrived. Now, I know I'm way overdue for this video, and for that, I do apologize. As you might have gathered from the title and thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Pain's Assault today. So needless to say, there's going to be a lot to cover in a little amount of time. And for those following along, I'm going to be covering episodes 152, 175. Now, with all that out of the way, let's dive into the meat of this arc. The first thing I'm going to touch on is how I think the Naruto series is quite underrated in the way it handles the depiction of characters and the grief that they experience over the loss of loved ones. Like, just for a couple examples, I think we had, we could say like Tsunade and her brother, or also the way that Shikamaru was with Asuma. But I want to bring that up because I think the way that Kishimoto depicts Naruto grieving the loss of Jiraiya here was excellent. Like, you can feel just the visceral emotion that he's experiencing. Like, he just like physically shuts down. He doesn't want to talk to people. It felt like a very genuine emotional reaction. And it made me so happy that the person that comes to Naruto to like be his emotional support in that situation was Shikamaru. He's already got experience trying to get over the loss of Asuma. So he's like, he's there. He's like, come on, man. Let's go do something. And then another thing I really enjoyed about this arc was the Sage training. Honestly, most of the training throughout Naruto has been pretty good, and some better than others, but the Sage training in particular was one I really enjoyed. Naruto is he's a bit of a hot-headed individual, you could say. So the fact that so much of this training involves him kind of relaxing, learning to be patient, and just let nature speak to him was actually very welcoming to see. Yeah, there were some gags here and there where he's like, I don't know, I'm turning into a frog. You know, it had some humor here and there, but overall, I think it was actually like really great development for Naruto's character. The way he's having to now find a way to balance his own chakra with this infusion of nature chakra or whatnot. It really worked for me. And then, of course, the end result is him unlocking Sage mode. And oh my god, do I love this transformation. I didn't really talk about it a whole lot in the previous video when Jiraiya was facing Pain. But yeah, he did use Sage mode there and it was impressive. But I think it just suits Naruto so much better. Not only does he have like a more fully completed version of it, but the way he's able to use the new power to protect the Hidden Leaf Village was perfect. But like, I've been wanting a design like this because yeah, the orange jumpsuit, it's pretty iconic, but him in the Sage mode outfit, just he exudes the aura of being a powerful and actually an intelligent ninja. Something I've been wanting to see from him, considering how far into the story we are now. Can't really acknowledge how awesome Sage mode is though without also touching on his opponent throughout that fight. That of course being Pain. Now, before I even started Naruto, I was already quite aware of Pain. His name gets brought up so often when you're just talking about villains in anime and how Pain is one of the all-time greats. And sure enough, you know, in the previous arc, he made a hell of a first impression against Jiraiya, and for that, I do appreciate it. But then seeing him roll up to the Hidden Leaf Village and single-handedly just wipe everything out of existence practically was chilling. Yeah, I know Conan was also there, but like, let's be real, she didn't do a whole lot. No offense to her, but Pain did the heavy lifting. You know, we got a couple cool little skirmishes here and there where one of the Pain clones would face off against one of the Konoha ninjas. Like, I did like his fight against Kakashi there, but it's all building up to the main feature, Pain and Naruto. And there's just so much to enjoy about the two of these guys in their matchup. In many ways, they are different, but there's also a lot of similarities between them. Both of them are orphaned from a young age due to outside circumstances like wars. Both of them had to learn advanced jujitsu from Jiraiya in order for them to protect those that they care about. But despite having some of these similarities, a lot of their ideologies kind of split and went to different directions. Pain is somebody that feels like he has the right to strike back at the world and anybody that could potentially have been involved in all of his misfortune. He feels he's entitled to that revenge and trying to prevent others from facing similar types of scenarios. But then you have Naruto, and like despite all of the misfortunes he has faced in his life as well, he continues to try and find a more peaceful solution. He's not about getting even with people. It's more about him trying to understand people and try to come up with a compromise that works for everybody. And so yeah, needless to say, this leads to the two of them button heads, and oh boy, is that clash quite epic. And like throughout the fight, we see Naruto doing a lot of really creative things. Like I think one of my favorites was when he is actually using his Shadow clones as like nature chakra batteries, essentially. He's like keeping them off to the side and reserved for when his sage mode starts running low. He like tags in one of his clones, and it's like, all right, let's go. I got the energy I need. And then of course, like we got the different pain clones and all of their unique abilities, and they're all just coming together all at once, and like we're actually working together to create different combos. Like you got one pain healing the other pains, and you got one pain that's like absorbing Naruto's chakra while the other is like shooting off energy blast. You know, like there's all sorts of fun stuff like that going on. And then the fight just like continues to escalate from there. Like it all leads up to this big moment where Naruto's the tailed beast gets unleashed. I think he only goes up to 8 tails, but like you have like 8-tail Naruto just going on a rampage, and then Pain has to like create a black hole which sucks up a whole bunch of stuff and creates like a little miniature planet to trap the 8 tails in. And it's like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? What happened to the show just being a bunch of ninjas doing cool like ninja moves? Not there's anything wrong with it, because it was pretty fun to watch. I'm just saying, it's like we've come a long ways. But like, I honestly, like, I'm looking at this from a more critical lens, and I really can't find anything about the Pain fight and like the way the story leads up to it that I find fault with. Like, I think it was masterfully set up. I think we masterfully built these two characters up, the way they differ, their ideologies of like I already touched on. And of course, the two of them come to blows, just being one of, if not the most fun fight of the entire show so far. Now I need to pump the brakes a little bit, because I do got something I want to touch on. I don't think I'm able to talk about the Pain fight without getting into a little controversy about the animation. Now, if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, there seems to be this opinion held within the Naruto community that in the later portions of the Pain fight, when things start getting really crazy, like when Naruto lets the tailed beast out, people have a lot of gripes and criticisms of the animation style. I'm not here to say you're wrong for disliking it. By all means, have your own opinion. As long as you fully believe how you came to the conclusion that you came to, that's fine. I, on the other hand, feel differently. For me personally, I actually did like the kind of switch to a more rubber hose style of animation, and the way it fits with the explosive dynamics of this fight. Now, to give, the naysayers some credit, it is kind of jarring that it just kind of comes out of nowhere all of a sudden. If you're not prepared for it, it can just kind of like throw you off guard and just be like, whoa, like what the heck? Am I watching the same show? What's going on? But the reason why I do like the rubber hose animation is because I know, looking at it from a technical aspect, Animation in general is just a very difficult skill. You know, I have a lot of respect for those that do animation. Pulling off some of the scenes, the action scenes that they're trying to pull off with the same art style that they were using before, I don't know how well that actually would have worked out. Like, yeah, you might have been able to do it, but like, it feel like it just would have been a lot more difficult to do. Like, there's a greater chance for you to mess it up. And so by switching to a more fluid style like they did, it allows them to really showcase how both of these combatants are like really pushing beyond the limits of like what their bodies are even capable of. Like they're pushing themselves so far beyond that, like it's almost like reality is breaking around them. Like their bodies are like turning into liquid, and they're like, as they're like moving and punching so fast, they're like bodies are like bending in unnatural ways. But again, I might be a little biased here because like I've always just in general enjoyed like old school Looney Tunes style animation, and so to kind of see that utilized here was a pleasant surprise for me. And because I like I kind of saw where they were going with the fight, it made sense to me. But I totally understand how for a lot of other people they're not a fan of it. Personally, I feel like just calling it trash, it's over. You know, you're kind of oversimplifying, or you're oversimplifying a bit. Like, it's okay if you don't like it, but to call it trash when there was still clearly a lot of work and effort put into it for a deliberate reason, I don't know, it feels disingenuous to me. But that's enough of my little TED talk there. Let's talk about Hinata real quick. Yeah, the bar for Hinata is pretty low. I'm just happy her existence is still a thing. She showed up, attempted to do something, which is more than you can say for some of the other characters. Yeah, it's a little awkward though. Like, I don't think she's even said a word to Naruto since the end of part 1, or she has. It has literally just been like one word. Now, I'm not gonna play stupid. I'm aware that Boruto exists. I am aware of how that character is born. You know,
What do you mean by that?
so I'm aware that Hinata is supposed to be important by the time we get to the end of Naruto. So for me, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she's being brought back now, and she's being given a moment. She didn't succeed too greatly, but she had a moment, you know, and I'm proud of her. I'm just hoping that she has more moments. All right, like one more thing that I want to kind of gush about is I want to talk about this idea of father-son dynamics, because that does come to play in multiple ways throughout this arc. Obviously, we have Naruto meeting his father, the fourth Hokage, learning a little bit more about his heritage, and having the fourth Hokage reveal to Naruto like why he was cursed with the nine-tailed spirit in the first place. And the whole scene of him meeting the fourth Hokage was such a touching scene. Like I was pretty happy when Naruto finally had a lot of these burning questions he's had within him for years and years answered. It gives him just a little peace of mind, especially as we're approaching the end of this pain conflict, and you know he's got to deal with all that. But it was nice to finally have that resolution going for him. But then, like, we also get a scene where Kakashi dies. I guess you could say Kakashi dies and meets his father, the White Fang, in the afterlife, and they're just kind of hanging out. And they're talking like man to man. It was so nice in that scene too to see Kakashi like actually forgive his father for making the difficult decision to abandon the village, which led to a lot of not so great things for for his father and eventually Kakashi. But it was nice of them to have that mature moment and just be like, you know, Kakashi being understanding, be like, I get it, like you had to do what you had to do. Okay, so to kind of briefly recap my overall thoughts on Pain's Assault, easily my favorite fight of the entire series so far. Some great character moments, and it really feels like we are actually wrapping up a lot of the story threads that were set up in part 1. And like, had they wanted to finish the series right here, it feels like they honestly could have. I know there's more, but it felt like a natural, like, ramping down to the end type of feel. And like, I've been very critical of Naruto as like a character throughout most of these reviews, but honestly, this art has done a lot to really make me care about Naruto as a person a lot more. Actually, legitimately excited to follow more of his antics in the future. And okay, so to place this on the the tier list, it should be no surprise. I'm gonna throw it right here at the top. It's gonna be number 1, my favorite arc so far, without a doubt. And I, of course, encourage everyone else to share their feelings on Pain's Assault in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know down below. Again, I want to say I do apologize for this video taking a while to come out. I had a lot going on in my life. But I finally found the time to just sit down, get my thoughts out there. And on the plus side, I have already begun going through the next arc, the 5 Kage Summit. So I should be able to get that next video out a heck of a lot quicker than this one. Then again, I do want to go play some Monster Hunter Wilds. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye.